Right, and welcome back to ERAGON. Today is another recording of the game itself, as well as during my last recording that there was a fair few deaths in the game, which was one that was involving fire, but hopefully today is not going to be fire deaths today. Right, also there is, of course, on my last recording, that there was one level that you could get some fire arrows, which would have been in this level, which is Darrett Bridge. That would be part of your other character, because there are 4 characters in total, but with one of them, if you're on your own, you get to use one other character, which would be part of them 2 locked together. You'll find out sooner or later what I mean. As was with part of the level that I did do, which was Darrett Bridge, that I slightly forgotten how to fucking use the fire arrows, which is basically use L1 and R1 and push the hold the X button in, shall we say. So yeah, L1 and R1 and hold the X in, or just push it once, but above you, just hold it in and then let go of the X for the fire arrows to blast through some walls, possibly, or towards your enemies, but mainly the enemies, really. As well as, of course, the other level I did do was Darrett Town, which had about 3 deaths, I think it was, but the Darrett Bridge had a lot more, because bits and bobs, it was just a little bit more complicated than I thought of remembering how to do it exactly. So that's why there was a load of deaths on that level. But of course, this game has some cutscenes of the film of ERAGON itself, if you have seen the film before, or you haven't seen the film at all. Right, so further ado, we've got another level to do, but possibly we could do 2 or 3, depends on if there's any more deaths or whatever. As well as in this game, with 2 other characters, which is basically for the second player, whoever wants to play with you, basically. And one of them is Brom, with a powerful sword that is much more powerful than ERAGON's sword is, basically. And also, when you're proceeding into the game a bit more further and closer to the very end, you can use all of the magical powers that's in the game of itself. But if you go back to certain levels, it will not do that. I'm afraid it will not do that. As well as you've got to search for eggs, which are dragon eggs, that belongs to a specific person that wants them, basically. As well as there's some enemies that are Razaks in the game as well, that works with a specific person as well, which is Durza. And he's basically after ERAGON, basically, as well as he wants to kill the dragon, but the only way he can. As well as, once again, if you've seen the film, you know exactly how the film goes. So, further ado, what we're going to do is do the next level in a few seconds, because I've got to just do one check of what has been done, just to make sure I'm in the correct way of saying, yep, that's how the game goes, and bits and bobs. But as long as you know roughly what you're doing, then you're all okay. Okay, so it looks like we are correctly knowing exactly what we're doing. Okay, so that is basically it. So, further ado, our next level, which is Razek's Chase. So that's the one we're doing next. As well as you got to find an egg somewhere. And every time when you select the level, one person would say exactly the level. As well as, of course, you get some cutscenes in the game as well. Just like the film.
While Brahm and ERAGON escaped Darit, Duza informed the king that the dragon had hatched, and a new rider had been chosen. Galbatorix seethed.
And that's the person that wants the egg.
ERAGON, the latest rider in a long, valiant line, learn how to ride Saphira. Let's see if you can catch this!
So, now this is a practice run of how to fly the dragon, which is Sophia. And you got to collect 5 birds.
This is awesome!
Right, also you can fire some fire arrows. Just normal arrows, shall I say. But also, with the blue bar that is underneath the... Let's just pause that for a sec. Right, so there's a blue bar at the bottom of the left-hand side of the screen there. Now, when you're with the dragon, or get ERAGON to ride on top of it, the magic blue bar will be unlimited, as in it will barely run out. Or either, another way of saying it, it will not allow you to wait until it goes from the left side all the way to the right with the whole blue bar filled up in blue. Okay, so that's how that can go. But if you're not with the dragon and you're using the magic, it will take a little bit of time. But also if you're using certain new magic powers, some of them will take even longer. Which will be the fire arrows, for example, that you use in the last level I did, which was Darit Bridge, as well as, of course, other levels that you previously did, which will be the push and pull enemies towards you. It will take a bit more quicker for it to return quicker. Okay, further ado. So basically what you want to do is use L3 and move the dragon left or right. Depends on where Brahm says which direction. Or ERAGON, there you go. ERAGON that's riding the dragon. And whichever way he says, that's the way you gotta go. Also, the way you can get the dragon to ride the bird, the way you can get Sophia to eat the egg, the bird, is basically try and get the beak of Sophia's to get towards the bird to eat it. But if it's too late, it'll fuck off. Right, also you can do different things with the dragon, like flap the tail by pushing the circle. Also, as I said, this is a practice run. And the other thing what you can do is hold square to get the wings bent to float to which direction you want, or just float around the place. And then you can do that with it, basically. And also you want to be careful about whacking Sophia to trees or whatever. So you can do all sorts of things with the dragon. As well as R1 with ERAGON with his arrows. But as Sophia said, it's unlimited magic. As I said before, it will never run out. As well as, another way of saying it, it will return a bit more quicker. Right, so further ado, you got to catch the white birds with Sophia's beak.
Hey, that was my day.
And you got to collect 5, if I remember correctly.
Watch the tree.
And also what I'll do is show you where the eggs are, but as long as I remember roughly where they are, then you will know where they are. But some levels will allow the eggs to be hidden a bit more harder, as well as even further in the levels that you do. And that's what they're going to do. As long as you play the game for a very long while and you know exactly where it is. Hey, give me that bloody thing. Oh well, it's gone now. Right, as long as you keep the dragon away from the trees and bits and bobs, because this level will be a bit more longer, but not quite as long as the last one that I did, which was Dark Bridge. But the other bit with this level, you can have fun smashing up boats, and of course practice how to fly the dragon, basically, and fire arrows. And basically you got to do is just press the X. Tasty, yes. Right, also sometimes when you're in a certain area,
Trees! Watch out!
like I said, you can choose left or right, depends on ERAGON says which direction. Sometimes you can get two birds to eat at the same time, but as in the way I mean is when one turns up, you get the dragon to eat one, another one will turn up somewhere along the line if it wants to, and you can get two in one when you get the beak to get towards it. And that's how you can get that, really. So it's four eggs, four birds, sorry.
There may be hope for you yet.
Uncle's murderers.
Once kill us,
Killers. Danger.
find us together.
Right, so this is the second half of this level, and basically what you got to do is kill your Razaks
They fast, Admiral.
with your fire arrows, which is once again unlimited, and also with the birds that you eat, which brings your dragon health back up. That's what that's for. As long as you know where it is and roughly get the dragon to fly in the right place. Also, these things will start to try and fire arrows at you as well. That's how they're going to try and kill the dragon. Also, once again, you can choose this direction you want to go, left or right, whatever. And basically that's it, really. But also, once again, you've got to find the egg. Also, once again, I'm going to try and help you find it, but I've got a rough idea where it is. So once again, you've got platforms that spike it up in the air in a hole, like this. I'm going to try and get the wings up and just steer around the place without smacking into any sharp platforms or either getting the Razaks to kick the shit out of you. Also, once again, if you miss the egg in any levels, you can always redo the levels until you collect them. But also what I'm going to try and do is not exactly miss the levels without overdoing the levels again. Right, also in this level, the egg should be around here somewhere. You'll be on the right somewhere. Here it is, it's just here. There you go, there's the egg, it'll be there. Right, all you got to do now is not die and kick the fucking shit out of your enemies. Also avoid the trees. And so that's all there is to it, really. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Trey. So yeah, you get the fun to... Oh, there. Whoops. I'm going to do it again, isn't it? Whoopsie. Sorry, Sophia. Also, with the camera, when it's poking a certain point at it, and you think you're going to avoid it, avoid the tree. That's what I thought earlier. That's why I've been smacking into the tree. Well, 2 trees. So that's the reason why I've been smacking into them, because I thought the part of the camera to say, yep, you avoided that really well. Yeah, just hit the flicking trees.
It's coming at us.
Yeah, that's all there is to it, really.
Prisoner.
Also, don't forget, if you played this game before, you get to have the characters to say different languages of things. And like I said, with the rustling thing that you hear, that's all to do with the X button you have to push. Which I should have thought of saying in the first place, but oh well, sorry. Okay, right, yeah, so you got to just keep pushing that X until your muscles say that's it, that's enough pushing the X button. And we shouldn't be far to the end of this level now.
Prisoner.
And also when you hear this tune, so when you hear that, that says it's close to the end.
Daggers. Watch out.
So you won't have to do many enemies to deal with.
Prisoner.
So you're close to the end of this level now. But like I say, it's quite fun to use the dragon. Uh-oh, the dragon's trapped. The dragon's trapped. Oh dear. So now you got a Freya. And so yeah, there's that level done. And also what you get in this level is just enemies killed, none, and DOVES, and what it's supposed to be with EATEN or CATEN. It's one of those things that says that. And of course you got collect egg found. So that's where you can find the egg, basically. So there you go. Right, we're not going to save that right now. And when you complete a level, it will all go back up to the top on the left hand side of the bottom corner. So that'll be that done for you to see. Next of all, as you saw the dragon trapped, that is the level we're going to do. And also so far these 2 levels have not had, well, one hasn't had no death yet. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, you got trapped.
Trapped.
So you got free the dragon. And there's all sorts of things in it.
Get to her.
There's all sorts of things in it.
Use magic on the roots.
Right, further ado. Right, so there's all sorts of weeds and roots and everything else, like a bit of tree trunk, for example. Let's go trap the dragon. So you've got to free her. But also you've got your enemies to deal with. Also you've got Brom in this level now, so you can have him if you're interested in being a second player to play it with your brother or your sister. Right, so basically what you got to do is basically allow Brom to take on your enemies and hold L1 and hold X for the magic to put a weed away. And you have another one over here. Also what you got to do is keep an eye on where your enemies are, because otherwise they'll be coming towards where Brom is, or Brom will come towards you for one of those to come towards you as well.
The logs. Use your magic.
And you'll find 3 roots to pull away and a tree trunk or a log.
It's still too heavy. Move more of the logs.
So once you've done those,
Forget the brambles for now.
right, as it says, leave the roots for now and try and help Brom kick their shit out of the Razak. So there's a checkpoint,
The second razor.
which means you can now do the roots.
Not enough. We're not going to get to her in time.
But also you don't want to pull the Razak towards you or towards Brom, because otherwise
Just a little more.
you're not going to get the main bit.
I removed the roots. Use magic on the logs.
Right, also when you do this bit, once you've done it, instead of 1 Razak,
Boy,
there'll be 2.
get the razor.
And once again, you can use the magic, which is L1 and R1, to take on your Razak when the magic returns. But like I said, once again with the other magic that's brand new for you to use, it will take longer for the thing to return. Also, when you're trying to aim with the magic, always make sure the blue of a certain, well, green colour, shall we say, it will return for you to see it. And once again, when you get to the next checkpoint, there'll be 2 Razaks for you to deal with. Right, if I were you, just let Brom deal with one of them, both of them, and make sure that the 2 Razaks or one of them that doesn't get towards you by pulling them towards you, for example. There'll be a root thing from, don't fucking dial me, prick. Oh, Brom. Right, once you've done all these roots, don't do anything else just yet, because what you want to do, find the egg from down there. When you do, pull a bit more of the twig and try and stay alive as long as you can. Put another root, and now pull the final and pull the last log out. Hold on, Brom, hold on. Hold on, Brom. Also, these Razaks will try and stop you, which is what they're doing. So as long as you stay quite far away from them, or wait and hope and pray your character doesn't freaking die, which obviously has. Or I might get away with it. Looks like I have.
ERAGON learned that Rom was once a dragon rider, but his dragon was killed, slain by Morazan, a traitorous rider in the king's service. That night, ERAGON had a vision of Arya, the most beautiful creature he had ever seen.
I'm being held in Daz's fortress of Gilead. Please, save me.
So there you go. Bits of the story of the film to let you know exactly what happens. So there you go. But also, as you heard one person say, save me! Which is, of course, Arya. Arya! Which is basically supposed to be Eragon's girlfriend. Or wife. One or the other. One or the other. Right, okay, so you got the egg found. Well, what I should have said was enemies killed. I've only done one. Brom's done one. The part, which is the green stuff that you pick up. So part ORBS collected. We've collected fucking none. And Brom's collected 60. But you can always kick the shit out of your enemies and get some green. But for that, if you've checked all of my other recordings, you know exactly what that green thing is for. But if not, I'm afraid you'll find out sooner or later. Right, so I think we will save it. By pushing the X 2 times. And there we go. It's saved there. And of course, once again, when you proceed into the level, you get certain bits and bobs, which is a new thing, which is make yourself have a nice magical shield with L1 and square for you to use into the game. So like I said, when you're proceeding even further into the game with all sorts of levels you do, all the things that will pop up to say this is available, this one's available, and so on. So you can use whichever flicking one you want and however you want. It's all down to you as long as you remember the keys. Right, so that is 2 levels done for today, I'm afraid. So, for now, that is where I'm going to leave you, but you can always check all of my other recordings that I've done of this game so far. But with the next 2 levels, I possibly could do, but the other way of saying it is that these next 2 levels will be a little bit more longer. It just all depends on if there's no deaths. Lucky I haven't had no 2 deaths on those 2 levels I've done. So, once again, we'll have to see if there's going to be any deaths next time on my ERAGON game that I'm doing. With 2 levels for me to do to allow you to know where the eggs are. So there you go. Once again, I shall catch you all next time for some more ERAGON. Take care.